the War and Pieces. Well, this week we're going to talk about a few things that are going to be coming out very soon. Academy Games is gearing up for 1792, the Indian and French War, I believe it is. Academy Games puts out some of the best war games you'll ever play. I've yet to play a game in their line that has been disappointing. They have that coming out, and I believe they have Storm of Steel that is reprinting for a second edition with some tweaks here or there. So hopefully that'll be out this month in February. Really looking forward to that. GMT has a few more releases from their 500, and we're going to be going over the list of the 500 reprintable games in the near future. But today is a very special day because we are going to be taking a look at Flying Pigs Games 65, a really unique and very, very good system. This game covers the Vietnam War. I think you'll really enjoy this. The best thing to do is probably go down to the table and show you what it's all about. Okay, today we're taking a look at 65, a squad level combat in the jungles of Vietnam. And this, I have to say, it was a big surprise and probably one of the better games I've checked out in quite some time. Mark Walker's done a wonderful job, and if you go to flyingpiggames.com, you can check out all their other things. They are known for their old school tactical, which I have to say is a masterpiece, and Night of Man that we will be looking at very, very soon. But you're here to see how 65 works. Why don't we head right to the table and take a look. So here we are down at the board, and as you can see, these are just two of the boards that you get, and beautifully done, just very well executed. These counters are enormous, and the blocks are enormous. These are just done very well, just beautiful, beautiful counters, and they're huge. I'm going to show you guys real quick one of the vehicles. I got a pretty big hand. That's a pretty big counter, and just very well done, just beautifully put together. I can't tell you enough about this beauty, but enough about that. Let's talk about some basic things and how things kind of work. I'm not going to tell you every rule, but I am going to give you a pretty good feel of what is going on here. The game is basically ran off a card system, and it's really, really pretty ingenious and very well done. At the beginning of your turn, you'll get 4 cards, as you see right here, and we're going to turn these over real quick, and I'm going to just talk about these. You can use any of these actions for each card, and what would happen is you would take your action, play a card, and then the other side would do the same thing. But you always start with 4 cards. You draw up each turn. You can discard 2 cards, and then draw up on your following sequential turn. The way the game starts is you go for initiative. So both of you have 4 cards, and you have to decide if you really want to lose a card, because some of these abilities are really, really good. Like you may want to be able to move and fire and everything, because everything is dictated off the card. So what you would do is you would determine initiative, and by doing that you would go by these numbers on the bottom left hand side. So right here I have a 3 and a 9, so you would win initiative, but you would lose this card. So now you would have to play with just 3 cards and hopefully have something else in here that you may want to use. The other person gets to they may want to play a lower card and be able to take that card back. Now, as you can see, we have units here, and as you can see, this is jungle here, or brush, or however you want to. Each have all kinds of different modifiers. In a particular hex, you're only allowed to stack 3 units. You have heroes, which can affect, and on the bottom here you have abilities that can come into play. So if you play a card and this particular one doesn't have a power on it. So as you can see, that they all have these little squares, which are all different types of abilities and things like that. And you can only use those abilities if you play a card that has this particular area here which says power. And then you can activate the powers that are there to be. Now the way this works is you'll play a card and you'll put down a card and say, okay, I want to fire. So you will fire with an eligible unit. Now here, as you can see on the left hand side, on the bottom here is their movement. This donates that they are a soft target. These two are for hardened for armor, but here is their what they call high explosive factor. Okay, so for here it would be a 2. So they would be able to fire 2 into this pile here, and they would designate what unit they want to hit. So let's just say, for all good things going, that they have a clear shot here. They're within 1 hex, and there's a chart here, and I will show it to you, that shows you the certain modifiers and gives you a pretty much a good breakdown of what goes on. If you're hidden in the jungle, it shows you the modifiers. For NVAs, they would get +2. As you can see up top, for the US, they would get 1. What that means is the Viet Cong were a lot more adept to their surroundings than the Americans, which were unfamiliar with it. But on the back here is modifiers. So at range 10 with a rifle group, you would get a +1. So now the modifier would be 3. And what you would have to do to hit, okay, on a move and fire, or if we just played a fire card, we would need green hits. So how do we get these green hits? We have 3 cards and we're firing at this particular unit. So what happens is you turn over the cards. So you have the actual deck where you draw from, and everybody shares this deck. So you're using these cards for their movement value, their fire value, and the power value, but also you're using these to determine who's hit and who is not. So we need a green hit. So what you would do is turn over this card, and we got a green hit. You would always look here. This number is insequential and it's only for armor. So all you care about is what is in this section, and it says hit. So this unit would take 1 hit, and you would keep on going, and of course you get another green hit, and then 3 green hits would destroy this unit, and this unit would be gone. Now that's particularly lucky, only because these cards are not shuffled. Here, even though it says destroyed, it would mean nothing because that's only pertaining to armor attacks. And you can see there's different colors of hit. There's red hits, and it really depends on the unit, and that's how they would take the hits. Now, were they to get a first hit, they would get a shaken token, and what a shaken token does is it says it right on it, which makes it just perfect. They cannot fire, and their movement is halved. This would happen, and then what would happen is on the second hit, they would get turned over, and then finally, the third hit, they would be destroyed. You can use an action to get rid of a shaken token, which helps a lot, or there are special abilities that you can use that will help you get rid of these shaken tokens so you can reactivate these units. Each team goes back and forth. There's different scenarios. There's a lot of things to it, but it is a very unique system. I really like the card system. You really have to plan things out. Now, once the unit has moved or finished its ops, you would put either a fired, or if it had moved, a move token on it, so you can keep track of all the units that you would use. Once a turn ends, the way a round would end, you keep on going back and forth until you guys would get a end turn card. Every time you get an end turn card, and should you draw it, you would put it aside. Once you get, depending on the scenario, either 2 or 3 of these, that would end the round. Then you would refresh everything and go and start the next round. Now let's just talk a little bit about the components. We've talked about the actual units themselves and the cards, which are beautiful, but I really want to hit home how well and how easy it is to follow along these charts. You get this one chart and it tells you everything that you possibly can need to do everything that you need in the game. And this actual manual is probably one of the best written manuals I've seen in a long, long time. Very easy to follow along, very beautifully put together, everything explained to you and broken down to you with ease so you can follow along. Easy to find the sequence of play, how you use transport units, movement is explained, so you know, it's just very simply explained, and when you go to look for something, the examples are absolutely perfect. They show you how to break down range combat, and it's spelled out very, 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 very well. The cards, they explain those, the shaken tokens, everything is just done just to perfection. Assault combat, vehicle combat. You need to find it. You can find it here. The letters are nice and big. It's not little small print, which makes it very, very hard. And the rules are only about 19 pages long. Then the scenarios are just very well thought out. You want to play them through sequentially. They're very well done and they tell a beautiful story. You can also play and pick up the solo campaign, which is just as well put together. There are no flaws. There's no scratching your head wondering how this will turn out. This is probably one of the better games I've played in a long time. And as you can see here, old school tactical, one of my favorite games. Excuse me. As well as Knight of Man. And here's the website, flyingpiggames.com. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game, and it's one I hope you'll pay attention when we do a live playthrough. I think you'll find that this plays very well. It's very smooth, and we're planning on playing with Janice, who's not a big war gamer, but just to show how easy it is to teach this game and play a scenario. I really love what they do, so I've got to give them all the credit. This was a great surprise. Mark Walker, you've done a wonderful job, and I have to commend you for everything that you're doing. I didn't go over all the rules here. You can go to their website and really go over some things and really take a look at things. And of course, you can always email Mark Walker. He's more than happy to hear from you, I'm sure. And I really suggest you guys go out and pick this game up and some of their other games. Their systems are flawless. Well, I think that's about it. Why don't we send it up top and get on out of here. Well, there you have it. Another War and Pieces in the bag. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing these. We're not live, as you see. The Queen's still not doing too well, but hopefully we'll be back live sooner than later. So, until next time, till our next War and Pieces, I hope you guys keep on gaming and keep on wargaming especially, and keeping this great hobby alive. Until next time, I'm Rob Warren. We'll see you soon.